Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining today's executive webinar session on how to manage root cause analysis in this digital age. As we all know, root cause analysis is the most effective analysis for continuous improvement. And today we'll talk about how you can practice root cause analysis. We'll also introduce you QDMS software for digital compliance. QDMS is a quality, risk, audit, performance, and compliance management software. Today, I have my colleagues with me. I have Alex Kvartirov from MRAS Consulting. Alex is a certified lead ISO auditor, and he'll be sharing information with us regarding root cause analysis. Also with us today, we have Porva Desai from our engineering team. She's a pre-sales software engineer at Bimser International, and Porva will be showing us QDMS software in action. Also, we have today Sam Watt, our senior pre-sales software engineer in our engineering team, and Sam will be also showing us QDMS as to how the system looks, feels, and how it runs to help you comply different quality and compliance management systems digitally. Now I'd like to invite Alex Kvartirov to our virtual stage to learn about root cause analysis and fundamentals of root cause practices. Sam, Alex, if you're ready, please share your screen. Let me start by making you the presenter.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. All right, looks like, yes, it works right now. You must be able to, yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, very good.
Looks good. Thank you, Alex.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar, and thank you, Kevin, for inviting me for today's session, which would cover a little bit about root cause analysis. And this is a good methodology for your continuous improvement process. So I'm not necessarily going to talk a lot about ISO. I'm going to refer to ISO because I think it provides very good guidance in the areas of quality management. But this certainly would apply to whether you're ISO certified or planning to become ISO certified or not interested in ISO certification. However, like I said, ISO provides some good guidance, and my overview of this topic will be based on what ISO dictates as far as root cause analysis. So let's, before I get into my presentation, I just want to very briefly introduce myself and my company, MRAS Consulting. I'm a certified ISO 9001 lead auditor, and I'm also the sole proprietor of MRAS Consulting. I've established MRAS Consulting in 2015 after a lengthy career as a project manager in a large aerospace company, which is certified to the AS 9100 quality standard, which is the aerospace standard. Currently, I provide consulting services for businesses to both achieve and maintain ISO certification. And back, that's like 3 years ago, I became a Bimser Solutions partner. After I met Kevin and I learned about the tools that Bimser offers, specifically the QDMS tool, provides excellent support to manage all aspects of the quality management, and having the knowledge in the quality management system and having this very powerful tool as an application, I felt that this would be a good synergy between us to provide help to organizations that are trying to improve their quality management system or achieve certification. And I also present a number of webinars and lectures on various ISO topics. So let's get into the webinar. And again, as I said, I'm not going to focus on ISO, but I just wanted to start out by listing the 7 quality management principles. And I want to focus today on 2 of them, which are highlighted in red. And specifically, it's evidence-based decision-making, which is clause 9 of the ISO requirement. What it means is that whenever you have to make decisions, to make improvements, or to correct non-conformances, you have to base it on evidence, not just making guesses, but you have to collect data and then based on the data make some decisions through a process, which we'll discuss later. This has to be all organized such that you can then proceed to the continuous improvement. In other words, then you take all the data that you've collected and then make the necessary improvements, which is addressed in clause 10 of the ISO guideline. So we're going to talk about those 2 particular requirements. So let's start first with clause 9, which is your performance evaluation, and this is how you determine what your problems are and also to collect the data to allow you to make improvements. And that's all specified in paragraph 9.1 of the ISO 9000 guidelines. And here they're talking about, I guess they're stressing, and I stress here in red, analysis. So you have to collect all the data and then perform analysis. And your organization must have a process, an analysis process, which is part or defined in the quality management system. And again, the ISO does not specifically mention any specific root cause analysis methods or tools. It's really up to the organization to use either standard or kind of generic methods, root cause analysis approaches, methods, or some organizations have their own proprietary root cause analysis methods. So either way, it certainly satisfies the overall ISO requirements. But the important thing is that the analysis and the investigation should really be focused on identifying the cause of the problem, or sometimes called non-conformance. And obviously, the goal is to make changes to prevent those non-conformances from reoccurring. So that's really what you're trying to achieve. And part of your QMS standard operating procedures should define the responsibilities and authorities of within the organization of how you proceed in investigating the problems and coming up with a solution. So again, here the investigation is really to solve the problem and to not to pinpoint the problem on any particular individuals, which, by the way, it could be the problem that the individuals were not properly trained to perform a certain task. So that could be part of the problem, but it should not be addressed at any particular people. So again, to review this whole process is to analyze the corrective actions. Then you verify the changes that you're going to be making. And then in the next section, which is clause 10, the improvement section, is now you're going to carry out all the planned changes. So let's look at now clause 10, which is your improvements. So here again, it's internally, you should have a process for implementing corrective actions. So you've now collected the data, you've done through tools, which I'm going to address in the next slide as to some of the common tools that are used. But through this analysis, you've come up with the root cause of the problem. Now you have to define the scope, what it takes now to fix the problem, and also address the containment actions, because now you may have deliverable units that are in the field that have to be returned to be corrected, or you may have some units which are in your production cycle. So you have to create a containment process where you identify the units that need to be fixed to segregate them from the units that will be corrected and will have the appropriate changes. So you have to plan a corrective action process, implement those corrections, and then follow up to make sure that your plan is working. And all of this you need to control and monitor, because if, as any activity, if there's no control and you don't follow a certain plan and schedule, then you're not going to really meet your goals of fixing the problem within a certain period of time. So all of that has to be considered as part of your improvement process cycle. And obviously, the corrective action is not really completed until all of the activities have been closed. So that's very important, that otherwise things stay open. And for example, like for documentation, usually is the last thing that is done in any change. And sometimes, oh well, we're going to do it later. We don't have time for it now. And then, of course, it may not be completed for a long time, which would create a problem. So all the tasks associated with a change should be completed before you're actually closing out the particular change. So now let's talk about some very common tools used to do root cause analysis. And again, like I said, there are other tools available. They're proprietary tools, but those are the very common tools that are used in the industry. One is the Fishbone Diagram, or sometimes called Ishikawa. And it looks like, fish bones. And basically what it is, they're different, you brainstorm different categories of problems, and you're trying to link them to what's causing your non-conformance. So it kind of pictorially helps you establish a thinking process of what could be possible causes of the problem. Another way to deal with root cause analysis is to use the 5 why approach, and it's a cause and effect relationship. So you keep asking, why did it happen? And then you write down the response, and then you say, well, why did that happen? And you kind of keep repeating whys, 5 or 6 times until hopefully you get to the root cause. So that's another very common way of identifying root cause. And another method is the Pareto Chart, and it's more focused on dealing with multiple problems. So what it does, it gives you categories of problems and their frequency of occurrence. So this really tells you, well, if you have a problem that's occurring much more frequently than another, that's the one you should focus on. So that's a way of identifying which problem would have the higher priority. So those are, typical tools. So as a conclusion, as a takeaway, what I'm going to introduce here is the use of a software tool, namely QDMS, which is really, in my own experience, I can really highly recommend it to support not only root cause analysis and process and corrective action and continuous improvement, but to deal with the entire quality management system. I think it's an excellent tool, and Sam and Purva will have a demonstration shortly. But again, I just want to emphasize that the QDMS does support root cause analysis using those standard tools. And also, I think the other important aspect of the tool is that it actually controls and monitors the implementation of the correction process to eliminate the nonconformances. So it's the one thing to come up with a cause of the problem, but now you have to make the correction and the improvement. And that is a process in itself which QDMS supports a lot. It gives you a lot of capability in tracking all of the changes that you're going to be implementing. So that really completes my presentation, and then I just want to then turn it over to Kevin. Thank you very much for your attention.
Alex, thank you very much for your informative presentation. Now we have the foundational information about what root cause analysis is, what type of root cause analysis there are that we can practice, and how we can actually use them. Let me take over the screen, and then we can continue our executive webinar session. Let me put this right here. Okay, there it is. Okay, great. Well, now I'd like to invite my colleague, Purva Desai, our principal software engineer from our engineering team, and she will be introducing QDMS on a high level in our demo environment. And right after that, my colleague Sam Watt will take over the screen, our virtual stage, and he'll be reviewing and sharing QDMS in more detail for you in our demo environment. Now, let me invite Purva to our virtual stage. Let me make Purva the presenter as the next stage. Purva, you are ready?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Sam is going to be presenting the screen.
Okay, great. So let's do that. Okay, go right ahead.
All right. So here is our demo environment for QDMS. So QDMS is a web-based system, and you can log into the system by using any web browser after deploying it onto your cloud or on-premise server. It is also a permission-based system, so not everyone can see everything in the system, and you can connect to what you're supposed to based upon your position, profession, department, and group. So after logging into the system, you can also find things such as your pending tasks, as well as approvals on your homepage. And you can have a quick connection by opening the widgets from your homepage. So for example, right here, we have some of our approval requests open. And on your top left, we have the main menu of QDMS. And QDMS is a modular structure, and we have over 30 modules available. And because of the structure, you can pick and choose the modules that you want to deploy on your cloud on-premise server. And now I'm going to hand it over to Sam to get in more detail with the presentation.
Thank you, Purva, and thank you, Kevin and Alex, for your presentation. And this is Sam, the principal software engineer of Bimser International, based in New York. In the following, I will dive into the modules that we have in QDMS and see how our system helps you to manage your customer complaint. Like, in order to have our continuous improvement, we have to record our feedback, and there is a module as external customer complaint or external customer feedback module. And also, if there is any non-conformity, how we can manage it by using corrective action modules of QDMS, as known as Kappa of QDMS, to record all your non-conformity and assigning and assign all your corrective actions. At last, I will show you the root cause analyze tool that we have on the QDMS. And let's get started. In QDMS, we have different modules, those are available. And today we will get into the external customer complaint module first. So here is a module that allows us to record all the feedback that we get from our customer. It can be a complaint, or we can manage all the feedback, like the positive feedback or some neutral feedback. For instance, like compliments or some suggestions from our customer. So those can be managed by using this module. And all the records that we have managed in QDMS, those will be shown in different status, like open, plan, follow up, review, and so on, based on the progress that we are handling this particular record. Same like planned, and then we have final, for example. And this is how we can see the status and also the progress that we are managing this particular record. And in this webinar, I want to show you step by step how we can manage the customer complaint, and also how it's related to the corrective action module. So first of all, like we now receive a new customer complaint, and then we can pick and choose the customer name from our system. And all these customer names, they are saved in QDMS itself. And saying you are managing this customer information in an ERP system, QDMS is also capable to integrate with the ERP system that you are currently using. And then what we can do is enter also the complaint description and also detail of our complaint and categorize it. So all this information can be recorded in our system. And as you may notice, QDMS also supports a multi-location. So as for this particular complaint, we can also specify which location it is related to. And once it is ready, we can assign this to a solution team. In order to have a smooth demonstration, I'm going to pick myself as the team leader, which is the responsible person of this particular complaint record. And if there's any attachment, you're more than welcome to upload it from your local drive. Let's say we want to upload the invoice, the PO, purchase order, meaning, or the image of the product. So those can be uploaded right here. So let me just pick and choose the one that we have. So let's say this is the image, and then we can upload it. And after that, you will find the attachment is now uploaded in the system, where you can always show the file that we have in the system. After that, we can send this out. And this customer complaint record will be sent to the solution team, which is myself. And you will also see this notice like on your screen. Someone like myself receive this complaint record, and we have to take the next step. So you may ask, what is the next step? And actually, the system takes you step by step from the new record, and then we have to perform our investigation. And after that, we will decide if we need any certain action in order to cope with this particular complaint. In the meantime, we have the capability to decide if we need a corrective action, like for this complaint. This is the one that we have just created, and I can open this particular task from my home screen. And right now on the top, the first progress report is available. And right here, I can enter my first progress report, or we can make our decision. Do we need a new corrective action record to be record in QDMS? So saying right now, we find that for this complaint, it is actually a non-conformity to our company. Then what we can do, we can choose like create a new CAPA, meaning corrective and preventive action, and the system will take you to the corrective action page that allows you to enter the non-conformity and also all the and take you through all the steps for managing your and coping with your non-conformity in the corrective action module. So you can see right here, it is the internal integration between two different modules of QDMS. And right here, we can create a customer claim, and also the customer name and also the customer complaint code will be filled automatically. And after that, we can choose the location, for example. And right after it, we can define the non-conformity description and also categorize the non-conformity. Once all the mandatory fields are ready, then we can assign this to a solution team, which I'm going to choose myself again as the solution team member. And then I can save this, and this corrective action will be created based upon your customer complaint. And as I'm also the responsible person of the solution team, I can file my first progress report. Like I can save it, making my first investigation, saying we do need this, or coming to the home screen. Let's come to the home page. I am the responsible person. So on my home page, I can find all the first progress report that I have to file for our corrective action record. And this is the exactly one that we have just created. You can tell from the date and also the name. And I can open this right on my home screen and file my first progress report. After that, I'm going to file my first progress report and save this. And then I can define the root causes of this non-conformity. I can pick and choose those root causes from a list, and all the items that we have in this list, they are configurable, meaning based upon your expectations and also your actual operations. You will see your own items in this list for your organization. As we pick it, the records, and then we can add the description in there. Then we can save this. And now this record is saved in our system on top of this record. Later on, I am the responsible person of this corrective action record. I can assign a corrective action to the action performer. We can pick and choose if that is a corrective action or preventive action. And then we can choose the action performer. By default, the system will take the solution team leader as the responsible person. But still, we can choose who will be the action performer. The reason why, because think about like in our factory, not every operators or employees, they have their own laptop with them all the time. So we will assign this to an operator on the ground, but still his or her manager will be the responsible person and update the record accordingly. Because the operator, they don't have any laptop with them, or they have to use it by using our mobile application. But anyway, we have to get someone to take the responsibility of following this up. So therefore, we separate the responsible person and also the action performer. And as for the action performer, we could like to get, say, Bimser Int, myself as the action performer, and then we can put together the action that this user has to perform and set up a due date for this particular user. Like by the end of this week, like Friday, everything has to be done. If not, then based upon the system setting, we will escalate this task to his or her manager. Later on, we can define the root cause that we are copying with, saying this is the root cause that we have defined, and then we can save this, and this root cause, this corrective action will be assigned to the action performer. As I'm now the action performer, we're still using the same account. I can find this particular assignment right on my home screen. And as if you notice, like on this page, this is my demo environment, so that I have a lot of pending tasks on this home page. But if it's in your system, you will only see what are assigned to you. So you will have way less than mine, or fewer than mine. Okay, and then right now we have our corrective action that we have to perform. So I can come to this widget and open the action that is assigned to me. And I have to update what I have done to this task. So this is the task assigned to me. And then I have to check it, like perform the action, or I have to postpone the action, like request an extension in terms of the schedule. And if we performed it, we have to update the system, like the actions are performed. Okay, or say action are performed. Okay. And then set up the action date, which will be today, or you are not now updating it today, but you performed the action yesterday. You're more than welcome to update it by choosing the date from a calendar. And when it is done, then we can save this, and it will be saved in the system and sent to the solution team member, solution team leader for review and approval. Once it is done, then the solution team can close this particular record accordingly after the corrective action has been performed and there are no other follow-up action is required. This is the whole flow that we can manage based on a customer complaint that we receive and record in QDMS, and then we can create a corrective action record within the same system. And in QDMS, there is a reporting tool that allows us to create different ready-made reports. And also, there is a graphical report that we can create in QDMS. For all the reports in our system, you can set up the criteria and also conditions before having your report. For example, we want to see which department handled the most corrective action in the system. Then we can choose the responsible person and then generate our report. And all your data will be shown in a bar chart and also as a table. You are more than welcome to export your report into Excel or PDF or image for sharing with any responsible parties. So this is how we can manage the feedback from our customer and also the corrective actions record digitally by using our system. And also right here, we have our QDMS extension. So this QDMS extension can take you back to QDMS itself, like the original one. And also, like, there is some applications that we can use for root cause analysis. In this extension, we have our quality management application, and that allows you to perform your root cause analysis by using the tool that we have, like 5Y. And as for the 5 Whys, we are going to enter the problem that we are having. And then we have to answer why we are having this problem. And after the answer for the first why, then we have to answer the second. We have to answer the second, the third, excuse me. Close this one. And based upon the workflow, we have to answer the second why, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So the system will take you step by step after entering the problem and also the answer for the first why we are having this problem. And then we showed you one of the examples. All the records that you have all managed in this QDMS extension, those will be saved in an archive of this application. And anytime we can bring this record back on our screen. And this is one of the examples that we have. Like we have a problem for the defective materials. And then we have to answer why we are having this. The first why is incorrect ingredient. And then the system will ask you, why are we having the incorrect ingredients? That's about human error. Why human error? And then new employee, for example. And so forth and so on. With, as the answer for the fifth why, then we would define it as the root cause, meaning we have a missing treatment plan. Then a certain corrective action has to be performed. And based upon this root cause that we have, we will create a corrective action in QDMS automatically. And there are different tools that we can make use of, like 8D model, that you can define your problem, and the system will take you step by step, starting from D0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Like we have to identify the problem, assign this to the solution team, describe the problem, and also define the root cause, so forth and so on. And we will follow the steps like this in the workflow, like D1, D2, D3, and so on. We are not able to skip any steps that we have in order to make sure we find the root cause and provide the evidence in order to have a continuous improvement within our organization. And right here, you can also find the Fishbone Diagram, as known as Ishikawa diagram, which we can define the root cause by coming to this diagram, and we can state the problem right here. And then if there's anything else, like it's about the measurement, then we can pick and choose the root cause from a drop-down, or the items in the drop-down list, those are configurable. And in this particular example, we find that there's this problem caused by the measurement from the supplier, and also it's about something from our machine at the sample point that we have during the production or the QC process. And right here, we also have our Pareto Chart that help us to identify the root cause. So for the same nonconformity, we can find like what is the main reason for this nonconformity, and those will be shown as a pie chart, as a bar chart and also as a line chart. So we can tell like which will be the non-conformity, the reason, the root cause for this non-conformity. So right here in this example, wrong quantity will be the root cause for this non-conformity. And we can take certain action in order to deal with this particular non-conformity that we have found out by using QDMS extension. So here's how we can enjoy the benefit of our system, QDMS, for digitizing all those quality management related activities. And what I'm going to show you next is the mobile application that we have. As you know, QDMS has a native mobile application, and it is available for Android and iOS devices. You can download it by using your App Store for iOS device and maybe Google Play Store for Android system. Okay. And right here, and then there 1 second, I have this to be set up. Okay, just 1 second. I'm connecting my cell phone, try to mirroring it on my computer screen. In the meantime, Kevin, if you want to carry out your presentation about QDMS, that will be great. I'm trying to connect to the mobile application.
Sure. Let me take over the screen and I'll continue.
Please.
With my part. Okay, great. So let me share some more information about QDMS before we end our session. Just brief information about Bimser International. We are an enterprise software publisher since 1998. We are based in New York, and we have a global presence as well. In addition, we are an ISO 9001, ISO 27001, and ISO 15504 certified company. So in terms of quality management and continuous improvement, we practice it every single day with the help of QDMS in a digital environment. Let's talk about QDMS a little bit. QDMS is a quality, risk, audit, performance, and compliance management software. We've been developing QDMS since 1998. We have more than 1,000 corporate customers, and also we have more than 1 million professional users using QDMS on a daily basis. QDMS works standalone as an independent software system. In addition, it is a certified Acumatica ERP and Sage Intacct ERP software as well. So you can use QDMS as a standalone solution. You can use QDMS integrated with Acumatica or Sage Intacct ERP systems of your choice. Some benefits of QDMS. So with the help of QDMS, you can digitize your quality management system. You can automate your quality management processes with the help of the system with no need of paper. You can improve your business processes in a digital environment, and you can create a corporate memory. All your quality and compliance management records will be available on QDMS digitally. So it'll be easier for you to retrieve your documents, data for making managerial decisions. It is a web-based system. You can access it from anywhere, and you can comply with many different standards with the help of QDMS. You can comply with ISO, IATF, SQF, BRC in food and beverage industry. If you are in aerospace industry, you can comply with AS9100 and many more. It is a user-friendly system, and it's easy to use. Once we train you for managing the system, you can be an admin, and you can manage privileges and other functionalities of the system as an administrator of QDMS. It has advanced integration capabilities. QDMS runs standalone, also integrates with ERP systems, CRM systems, manufacturing execution systems, and IoT devices for automation. It is a vertical free system. You can enjoy the benefits of QDMS in any industry: automotive, aerospace, healthcare, pharmaceutical, energy, and many more, as I listed on this slide. As I mentioned earlier, QDMS has advanced integration capabilities, and one of the integrations available is smart sensor integrations. QDMS can integrate with any smart sensor. However, it has ready-made integrations with Halo Smart Sensor, where Halo Smart Sensor monitors air quality, noise, humidity, temperature, and so on. If there is anything out of range, out of expected values, degrees, then QDMS can trigger automatic inspections, audits, or maintenance requests. As my colleagues demonstrated earlier, QDMS has a modular structure. There are more than 30 modules available, and our clients can pick and choose any module they like. Earlier today, we demonstrated some of them, but there are more modules, as you see on the screen. And based on your choice, your quality management system, your challenges, and your priority, then you can pick and choose any module you like as to digitize your quality management operations and automate to comply and improve your business processes. Sam, is there anything that you like to add at the moment?
Yeah, I want to share the mobile application.
Sure, go ahead. Let me stop sharing and you can
Sure.
take over screen before we go to the next stage.
And
Okay.
can you see my screen?
Yes, it looks good. Please continue. Thank you.
Okay, great. And this is my cell phone running an Android system. It's my smartphone actually. And there's a native mobile application of QDMS for Android and iOS devices. And after you install it on your smartphone or tablet, you can find all the pending tasks right after you log into your mobile application. You will see the exact same data set that you can see from your web browser on your handheld device. And you can open this particular request, like assignment, and get a quick connection to this particular task. On the top left, you can also get into the modules like document management module, corrective action management module, as well as COPA, external customer complaint, and also to your root cause analysis tool as well. So that by using the mobile applications that we have, you will be ready for all your quality management related activities every day, as long as you have the internet connection. And that's all for my demonstration. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Sam. Let me take over the screen and we can continue through our slides. Let me try it again. Maybe you should start. You should stop sharing, Sam. It looks like mine isn't going through. Okay. Let me try it again.
Did I stop?
Thank you. Okay, there it is. So as you saw during our demonstration, QDMS works on laptop, works on desktop, as well as smartphones and tablets. My colleague Sam just demonstrated how you can use QDMS with a smartphone. So you may be out of your office, you may be on manufacturing floor, you may be performing audits, for example, on the field. You can pull up your smartphone and you can basically enjoy it as for performing your tasks with your mobile application of QDMS. Before we end our session, Alex, would you like to share any final remarks?
Yes, sure, Kevin. Yeah, I just wanted to, from my own experience, just say how great this QDMS tool is. And as you have seen in the demo that Sam presented, and he in fact used two examples. One is the 5Y and the other one is the Fishbone Diagram, which the tool supports. And the importance of all of this is that all of the information that is collected during the analysis is all stored within the tool. So this is very extremely invaluable because a lot of the problems are repeated from project to project. And you know, this really supports the lessons learned. So if you go through an analysis on one project and then later on you have another project which has a similar kind of an issue, then you can certainly go back and look at what was done and how the analysis was performed on the previous project. So otherwise, all the information is scattered throughout the organization. It's very hard to find it. And usually people don't go back and use the information that was learned before. So I think QDMS is extremely valuable and in this kind of effort. And so that's why I think, yes, you can live without it, but life is going to be so much easier if you really use this tool effectively. So I think that is really my message, Kevin.
Alex, thank you very much, as always. Thank you for your informative presentation, and thank you for sharing your insights. Always very helpful and educational. As I mentioned earlier, Alex is a certified lead ISO auditor. He has years of experience in compliance, quality management, ISO, as well as AS9100. And we always enjoy learning from Alex at every opportunity that we get. Alex, thank you very much. So before we end our session, I'd like to invite you to our YouTube channel where you can watch the recordings of Synergize 2021 Annual Virtual Conference and Summit of Bimser International. Earlier this year, in March, we performed this conference, and recently we made the recordings available for your view. So we are confident that you'll find the recordings helpful and informative on our YouTube channel. Speaking of our Synergize 2021 conferences, we are also getting ready for next year, Synergize 2022 Annual Virtual Summit and Conference of Bimser International. It is also going to be taking place next year in March. Next year, we'll cover how to automate business processes in this digital age. And please visit our YouTube channel to learn about what we talk about this year. And you can also visit our Eventbrite page to register and see the agenda of Synergize 2022. And please register for this informative conference. Our YouTube channel is designed to help you access videos about digital transformation, manufacturing 4.0, automation, predictive maintenance, and cloud technology. So please feel free to visit our YouTube channel and subscribe to be notified as soon as we have a new video available. We generate new videos every single week. Right now we have more than 300 videos available, and more is on the way in our YouTube channel for your view and share. And on our Eventbrite page, you can see the listing of our coming events, and you can register for those that you are interested in. I'd like to thank you for your time and thank you for your interest in our executive webinar session. We are looking forward to seeing you at our coming webinar series. Thank you very much and have a nice day.